Greetings everyone, Joseph James here from theschooloftrade.com. Today was January 25th, 2010. Here's your live trade room recap. Before we talk about the trades we took today, I want to remind you guys about a couple key components. Head to the YouTube page and of course in the description of it, the first link is for a recorded live session. So of course we're recording our live trade room every day and we're posting highlights of that on our blog once a week. The second link is for our 12-month track record. If you guys want to know how we've done over the past 12 months, guys, it's that second link here for the 12-month track record. And then of course you have your 3-week trial. Alright guys, we've got your 3-week trial, 12-month track record, and to watch the recorded sessions of this on our blog. Now, of course, guys, let's see here. 2, 4, 6 total trades here today, guys. 83 ticks, 830 USD, and only 4 contracts, as you guys can see here. 830 brings our monthly total here just above 5,500 USD. We're back above that average of 700 USD every single day. And guys, we'll keep you guys posted as we make our way through the month of January. Now, what was the most important thing that happened today? Well, of course, today was a Monday. Like everybody else's Mondays, people tend to get into work a little bit later on Monday morning. Okay, a lot of things we do as traders are very similar to what would happen if you were a dentist. Right? Just like people leave early on Fridays, they show up late on Mondays, guys, the same thing happens here in the markets. So how do we know when to begin trading? This is always one of the biggest obstacles, right? When do I begin? When do I get started then, Joe? I'm looking for volume, and more specifically, green pace of a tape. I want to see large buyers or sellers in my filtered time and sales window. I want to see new highs and new lows, right? So I don't want to see any double tops, double bottoms. I don't want to see some sideways ranges. Of course, that means I'm looking for some nice steep slope to my trigger line. So look for the pace of a tape indicator to be green. Look on your filtered time and sales window, looking for lots of big buyers and big sellers. We should be making new higher highs or new lower lows, and of course want to make sure we have a nice steep slope to our trigger line. If we see those things starting to develop, guys, you know that your Monday morning is now here and ready to be traded. First trade of the morning began here on the Crude. We took the first 3 on Crude, the last 2 on Crude. Breaker pattern to the long side, right? So short-term trend to the upside, as you guys can see. Again, I can use my trigger line here, right? That thin yellow line right here. This trigger line, nice steep slope to it, that tells us the short-term trend is up. We then, of course, have these red lines here, right? See these overhead resistance, this red line? Well, that red line is located automatically for us, courtesy of our indicators. And then we mark this swing high level right above that red line, also, again, marked automatically for me. That swing high, of course, just about 72, 73. We got filled here on this entry long at 75, took a +4, took 2 off at +4, move our stop up to entry +1, then we had our second target filled at +8. Once we see our +8 filled, then I'm going to move my stop to that pink line on my trade management chart, and we locked in another 4 ticks. 4 times 2 is 8 ticks, +8 is 16, +4 is 20 ticks, guys, or 200 USD on the first trade of the day here. Now the second and third trades, both were winners as well. We got kind of lucky in the third trade here. We'll show you guys what we're talking about here. Short-term trend was up. It was a little bit sideways here, as you guys can see, a little bit sideways trend here. But we began to see it start to shift and point up here. We marked up our swing high here just above the 74.40, 74.49. So got filled here at 55, guys. Again, above that 48.49 level. By the time we saw those big buyers stepping in, we had gotten a little bit further away than we'd like to. But we had a lot of green pace of tape. Momentum stayed pointed up, and we had the leeway to chase after a little bit here because we had enough room. This is one of those examples where we have the 3-strike rule. At 10:17, the second trade, this is a 3-strike rule, meaning that we have our first target right at +4. Now, if we see that first target tested once, twice, but 3 times, and we don't get the target filled, right? Big difference between testing the target, trading up to it, and then bouncing off of it, or filling the target, which would be trading up to it, filling your order, and then moving forward. So the 3-strike rule says if I don't get my first target filled within 3 strikes, I will then move my stop up to my point of entry +1 and then try to manually fill that first target. Well, we did exactly that, but before we could, the market had come right back down, of course, and stopped us out entry +1. That, of course, times 4 ticks is going to be 4 ticks total, or 40 USD. Of course, we weren't done there yet. If you were with us paying attention this morning, we immediately saw just the speed of the tape pick up thereafter, and we jumped right back in. 10.19 here this time. Now again, this is going to be one of those examples where because we saw that we weren't getting much out of the first trade, we simply waited patiently, and if it happened to set up within, a couple ticks of that potential entry, then we were good to go. What I didn't want to do, though, was try to chase after this thing by too much. 2 minutes later, on the Crude as well, on the breaker, of course, got filled at 59s here. Now, at this point, we marked up another swing high here, right? Another swing high. This here at 56s. Now, this is a nice big one here. This is why we always want to be ready, willing, and able, because if we are, we're going to put ourselves in positions to take advantage of trades like this. So we got filled, of course, at 59, 74.59, momentum up, lots of big buyers. Now this is where the crude market sometimes will bounce our way and sometimes it won't. In this case, it really bounced our way here because it skipped our first target. It literally blew right through our first target. Not sure how that happens, of course, but the crude, because it gets kind of illiquid out there, will jump a little bit sometimes. It did just that, jumped up, filled our second target of +8, and then, of course, we trailed our stop to lock in 12 more ticks and got bounced out for the rest of the three, right, those three targets, the three contracts. We only took one off at +8. So we still had 3 more left in position. We took them off at +12, and of course, totaled it up, guys. There's your 44 ticks, or $440. Of course, we made 40 on the first trade at 10.17, then made another 440, so $480, guys, in a matter of 2 minutes here on the crude market. Let's keep moving. Next trade, guys, was on crude. So the first 3 was on crude. I'm sorry, the fourth trade today was on the gold market. Now in this case, you can clearly see short-term trend was down. We mark up, of course, these red lines here are our important levels of support in this case. We mark up our swing low, we break below those levels, and we look for a break below that swing low. 10.47, we got filled at 94.9. Of course, in this case, the 5-second rule is in play. Now, what's the 5-second rule? The 5-second rule says if I don't see my first target filled within 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right within 5 seconds, I'll move my stop from 6 ticks back down to entry -1 tick. And that was exactly what we did. After the 5-second rule was in play, we counted down from 5, move our stop to entry -1, and of course, when it came down to, or should I say, when it came back up to stop us out, it ended up filling us at our entry for a complete scratch trade. So nothing in, nothing out, guys, here at the 10.47 trade here on the gold. Now, of course, back to crude. We'll finish up crude, the last 2 trades of the day, 10.58, and then, of course, 11.45. Here on crude, you got the short-term trend was up. This was, of course, a breaker pattern long, which is always very easy pattern. Short-term trend being up. We mark, of course, a swing high above this important level of overhead resistance. This swing high, of course, at 91, 90 even. We break above that, got filled at 93 for our breaker pattern long. Now, this case, again, was another example of the 5-second rule. Right? Count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If we don't see our first target fill within 5 seconds, what do? Move stop up to entry +1, lock out all that risk. That way, if the move is going to happen, we have no risk left involved with it, but we're simply not going to let this thing just simply sit there until it decides to go in one direction or the other. Want to be aggressive with my defense. Now, in this case, guys, this one, the ball didn't bounce our way. Sometimes the ball bounces our way, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, we moved our stop to entry +1, but when it came back to fill us, it filled us at -1, a little bit of slippage there, totaling, of course, -40 ticks, right? Negative 4 ticks, or -$40. So we gave back a little bit of the money we made earlier on. We were still up by a pretty decent amount, of course. Let's keep moving. So we gave back 40 ticks there, guys. I'm sorry, 4 ticks or $40 there. And our final trade here. Now, of course, at this point, we had just taken a small loss, right? We had easily avoided some big losses there. Made it a small loss. Now we wanted to make sure we didn't give back any more here. So we really wanted to be patient. We had the short-term trend was down. You can see that by looking at my trigger line there. We have our swing low here, right? Once we break below this important level of support, this red line, we make our swing low. Once we break below that swing low, there's your entry, guys, below 45s, right? So 74.45 was the entry. We took a +4, a +8, and then trailed our stop to lock in 3 more ticks, totaling 19 ticks. Half off of the 4, quarter off the 8, quarter off of the final runner. That totals 19 ticks, or 190 USD. So total them all up, guys. We made some money at the beginning of the day, gave back a little bit of money towards the middle of the morning, and then, of course, finished up here strong with another winner. Total them all up, guys. 83 ticks, $830 in the live room this morning, guys. Only 4 contracts needed to get this done. Let's prep for tomorrow. Tuesday, January 26th, 8:20, golden currencies open up. 9 o'clock, crude opens up. 9 o'clock, we get your home price index, the Case-Shiller home price index. 9:30, we have the U.S. Open. 10 o'clock tomorrow, guys, we have your January consumer confidence number, so don't want to miss the 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock news events tomorrow. And, of course, tomorrow we'll transition to lunch around 11 o'clock. Don't forget, though, let's recap for tomorrow. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do free webinars at 11:30, so don't miss the Tuesday-Thursday webinar tomorrow, guys. Trade room is up. 7:45 Eastern Time. We'll open it up tomorrow. The beginner's course, always recommended for all free trial members. If you guys haven't grabbed a copy of the beginner's course, don't forget about that. And reminder, price increase coming February 1st. Guys, email our sales team to find out if there are any more January discounts left over before we increase the price February 1st. My name is Joseph James. Happy Monday to you all. Let's make this a great week. Last week of January. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning, live trade room. Bye-bye for now.